Young Americans are less wedded to monogamy than their elders. This is according to YouGov. Now, according to their latest research, quote, it shows that overall, the vast majority of Americans, 68%, would in no circumstances be okay with their romantic partner engaging in sexual activities with someone else. However, that number changes as the number gets younger. So let's look at the age gets number, I should say. Let's look at this first graph. So how would you react if your partner wanted to engage in sexual activities with someone else? So we have here the 65 and older, 78%, I would not be okay with it. 11% says it depends. And then 3% says I would be okay with it. Now let's go all the way to the 18 to 29-year-olds, which is pretty close
Let's
to
just say, though, people 65 and over, some have not made up their minds. And it's like, let's make a decision. You're 65.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
Let's go back to that same graph, then we'll go on a different graph. So then you look at 18 to 29, which is close to the 30 to 44-year-olds. 56% I would not be okay with it. So still the vast majority, but then you're looking at 26% compared to the 11% says it depends, and then 6% compared to the 3% of older people saying that they would be okay with it. Now let's look at the other graph. So this has a lot to do with cheating. So whether or not you would engage in sexual activities with someone else and whether or not you would get the consent of your romantic partner to do that. So according to the graph, it says here that while the self-reported rate of cheating changes little according to age, younger Americans are much more likely to report having had sexual contact with other people with the consent of their partners. Now, but I also wonder, if you're 65 and older, and I'm sure this is anonymous, but sometimes, you feel your limited beliefs from the way you grew up. Maybe you don't even feel comfortable being honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's different variables that will impact the results, but thoughts, 5 words or less.
Monogamy works for me.
Millennials feeling the cheat.
1 in 5 people cheated.
Monogamy works for me too.
Boring.
To each its own. To each its own. I'm not judging, but I prefer monogamous relationships. I'm a relationship girl. Yeah.
Ew.
But it's okay if you and your partner have decided to have an open relationship. I will say though, all my years of working on Loveline, which is like a syndicated radio show, and people call in with advice. More times often than not, those people that had open relationships, it would start off great. Or it would start off with one person wanted it more than the other person, and then the other person that didn't want it as much, slowly but surely they built resentment. But 9 times out of 10, no joke, of all the calls that would come in, and the majority of the calls had to do with, I feel like, open relationships. Yeah. It never worked out.
Threesomes ruin relationships.
It never worked out. It started working out, but then eventually someone gets upset.
Someone gets jealous, yeah.
Brett, are you surprised by this? I feel like you're kind of being a little smug over there.
I love it. I think it's great that no matter how old you are, 1 in 5 people pretty much is like, yeah, I did that. And how scary is that? That's 20%. That's 1 out of every 5 people. I think it's great. My girlfriend is like, I dare you to go try to get some. She's like, I go do it.
What do you think would happen? What do you think would happen if you did?
I just don't remember how.
Okay, but let's scenario.
Can I tell you what Brett? So I met up with Brett in Huntington Beach like 3 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, and Brett, your friends had mentioned that your outfit game wasn't going to attract the ladies if that were the case. Brett had on like a Gilligan's Island hat.
It's a bucket hat. At the NFL, everyone in the NFL is wearing these bucket hats.
Brett had on a Gilligan's Island hat, like mismatched shorts and t-shirt, and like teal sunglasses.
Didn't care. Long hair, don't care.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my scenario would be, so you're at a bar, you're wearing your outfit, Gilligan's Island hat, everything.
Let's go get a good outfit.
Looking great, but like feeling confident, feeling yourself.
Feeling
good,
looking
really
sharp.
A smoke show girl comes up to you and she's like, I want to have sexual intercourse with you right now. And she like, and I understand you're in a relationship. It's a one-time only thing. Would you think Amber would be okay if you texted her and were like?
I would do it, and I'd be like, I'm not telling her.
What?
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm not gonna tell her. She'd be so mad.
You're kidding.
But you would do it?
She'd be so angry.
Of course she would be mad.
Imagine if she found out that I did that.
But you wouldn't want some stranger to be sucking on you, would you?
That's not why you put it like that. Some stranger sucking on you.
That's how you have to think of it. I don't care how good looking someone comes up to me. I'm gonna think of my husband, and I don't want some stranger all up in my business.
I don't want anyone to be sucking on me ever now.
I
don't think I'm
let alone a stranger
gonna be able to perform again.
See, you need to think of it that way.
No, I mean, I can confidently say that hasn't happened.
Okay,
where someone's
but
like, let's go. Because there's always time along the way to be like, well, here's what happens. If someone hits on me at a bar, like, I like to feel pretty. And so I'll be like, hey, how you doing? But I'm not going to like go like, let's go into the back room and bangarang Rufio.
Yeah, but you like the female attention. Though. Every guy loves it.
That's crazy because on the flip side, because girls get hit on way more, it gets to be a nuisance.
My girlfriend likes it when girls are attracted to me.
I mean,
she thinks it's awesome.
No, I think it's adorable too. I like it when I see that happen to Mark. But on the flip side, when we as women get hit on, we get a hit on much more than when guys get hit on by girls, that it becomes like a nuisance. Yeah. You feel a little bit like prey.
My girlfriend gets annoyed at me for going out because she says I get too excited when girls give me any attention. And she doesn't like that.
So Grace,
and I love my girlfriend. Like I would never do anything. But like when you're getting attention, it's like,
and that's okay.
What am I gonna frown and be like upset about it?
Yeah. And I think to have a healthy perspective too, of even just noticing other good-looking people.
Yeah.
I would never get mad if Mark noticed a good-looking girl, or if I noticed a good-looking guy. That's normal.
Yeah, I'll call it out. And I have a 90-degree rule in our relationship where like I can go like this, but as soon as my head goes past 90 degrees, it's like
that can be disrespectful. That can be like doing this. That's so disrespectful.
But we'll be on the beach and I'll be like, that's a butt.
Yeah.
That's a butt.
I do the same thing.
That's a hot dad right there.
Yeah. Totally. I do the same thing.
Okay, so what would your response be if Mark was out somewhere and he was like, Sam, like there's this really attractive girl, like she's really hitting on me. If I'm being honest and I have sex with her, will you be mad at me? If I'm telling you up front.
I know that's not Mark. I think you start to sense.
Honestly, like,
I think you start to sense those.
He's done a great job of convincing you that.
I think you start to sense people's kind of like ideologies, like within relationships and monogamy earlier on. Mm-hmm. So like out of 12 years later, I think that would be a bit of a surprise, and it would take me back, and we'd have to like really think about that. I wouldn't be okay with it. That's just me personally.
Would you be okay with it if? I mean, you can't, there's no way to know
Again,
this, but if you didn't know,
own.
or if you did, would you rather not know? Like if something happened and Mark cheated on you for one night only?
I don't even like to think about
different Mark. You're in a different relationship in a different
Would I want to know if I was cheated on?
Would
I want to know if I was cheated on? Yes, I would want to know if I was cheated on.
Do you guys have passes for certain people, like celebrities?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in that?
They're all on the stage right now.
Yeah.
No, Lizzie and I joke about that a lot with Selena Gomez. Like, what would I do if I was ever in the same room as Selena Gomez?
Oh, that was your...
Nailed it. Sorry.
Glad they're listening.
Sorry,
we
just played nipple.
Selena Gomez.
What would happen if Selena Gomez?
Sorry.
No, we've talked about like if I was ever in the same room as Selena Gomez, what would I do? And the thing is that I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, like you totally like have sex with Selena. And Lizzie's even said that before, but I absolutely know I would see her and I'd be like, so as I thought, even more beautiful in person, but I would choose Lizzie every day. I wouldn't be like, let's start a new thing with this person who seems amazing and is wonderful, and I want her to find happiness, but like, it's not me.
Full of shit.
I was hoping for like
You're
a hot
so full of
I'm not.
like lesbian Selena Gomez story after that, but no, it was like, oh, monogamy boring.
I think monogamy, though, at the end of the day, it's super important for a civil society to exist.
Interesting.
Without it, I think there would be chaos.
Yeah.
There would.
Yeah, you have to have clear boundaries, and from what I learned, at some point, those boundaries get blurred.
Yeah, because it's a societal construct, it's a social construct, monogamy and everything. Mm-hmm. But there's a reason why that's in place, because I think there was probably a lot of problems before we lived in monogamous society.
I don't know. It was weird. We covered the story on the main show last week, and Jank cited something that I think I might have said on the show before, which is there's a UCSB psychologist or evolutionary biologist said our love feeling lasts just long enough for us to like pair up, have a baby, and have that baby be able to run away from like a lion. And then after that, it's like, great, we did that thing. The baby's fine. Or
that's why the 7-year itch they talk about.
The 7-year itch is
then that would be like
it
7 years.
It's 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And the true thing is, like, if you look at other kinds of dynamics that exist in the wild, there are like family-based group dynamics where like different chimpanzees pair up, but like there's a group that raises the children together, and that's the strong bond between like mother and offspring. The father's kind of around, but has babies with other ones. So I think like
Fred, are you saying that you want multiple wives?
Listen, yes, that's what I'm saying. Ideally, no wives, because my dad used to say, "Are you happy?" And I go, "Yeah." And he'd go, "Are you married?" And I'd say, "No." And he'd go, "Remember that."
Wow.
As a joke.
All right,
as a playful little joke
Yeah,
in
as a
front of my
playful
mom,
joke.
whenever it was
Funny
like,
joke.
take out the trash, she'd be like,
Don't you love
right?
those mom and dad jokes? My favorite mom and dad joke is when my dad would say like he's the head of the household, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, well you can be the head. I'm the neck, honey, and I control which way that head moves." Yes, mom.
I like the one. Have you heard of this one? Have you heard of this one? Do you have a dishwasher? Yeah, I married one.
Ouch, that's sexist. Okay, we're gonna leave it on that note. All right, please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Pop Sugar.